So with that, let's get up to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, we are about an hour's drive southwest of downtown Boston in the area known as Patriot Place, Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough. Tonight, we finish off Week 6 with a good Monday nighter between the San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots.
Next round! Here we go!
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short.
That was a good, strong run there. And while it won't pick up a first down, it was definitely something needed by that offense. A positive run. They got a good push by their guys up front. Maybe something they can build on as this game continues.
All week in practice, they stressed grounding, pounding the football, and they really executed it well there to get the first down.
That usually means getting back to being physical in practice, because when you emphasize pounding the football, it doesn't really come together unless you practice it the same way you're going to play it in the game. That means more bodies, more pads, and a whole lot of popping last week, and they got it done in the game.
And here's the offense today that hopes to get off to a strong start. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Deep drop. It's caught. Michael Pruitt. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Now a play fake here on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. A quick look here at the Patriot defense.
Dante Hightower is a guy who can play the run with the best of anyone in the league, but he'll fool you a little bit in pass coverage. Not so bad there as well.
On second down, Freeman. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On fourth down, on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. They'll come out in the pistol. Here's the first carry for Matt Jones. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Watch left. Tight end to the left, tight end left. Hurry up, here we go. Green.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. And the 49ers on the defensive side of the football.
Eric Reed is a safety that you can use all over on defense, both in the box as a tackler and back deep as a cover man.
Offense in a little bit of a bind here. 9 yards to go on third down. Play clock winding down. Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Richard Rodgers, that time. And that brings up fourth down.
But, partner, anytime someone tells me that fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a third down attempt.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give him a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending the guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Throwing, Hundley, caught, left side, Hopkins. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. This is fielded at the 27. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Patriots take over. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain. Now, that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense, hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Garoppolo to throw on second down. Eluding the pressure right. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on third down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So on trots the field goal unit. And wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And that hits the crossbar and comes back no good. And by just a couple of inches, this remains a scoreless game. Oh, that really would have been something to see, but he's denied by the framework.
Do you remember seeing David Akers in Green Bay a few years ago on opening day? He had a 63-yarder to end the half, hit the crossbar, and go over. So sometimes it works for you, and sometimes it works against you.
And this time it's against. The catch made by Hopkins. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 13 on the pickup there. And it'll be first down 49ers.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the 49ers in control of the football. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. They isolate Hopkins on the left side. Now Hundley. And his throw is incomplete. They need to get this to the 24 on third down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here.
Let's go, Ohio! 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 Here we go!
From a shotgun, he'll look to throw. And finding Pruitt. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Michael Pruitt, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Niners are able to cash in for 6. And he knocks it through. Franks now on to kick it away after the touchdown. And And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Patriots offense. They worked their way back out onto the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker couldn't make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
2nd down and 4. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. On 2nd down, here's Garoppolo. And Rodgers has it over on the right side. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
And Richard Rodgers makes the grab, and let's face it, it's going to follow him the rest of his career. The Hail Mary he caught to beat the Lions in 2015 in Detroit, pretty memorable play.
Those Lions fans, they just don't like you right now if they heard that.
I didn't mean to bring it up to, pull the Band-Aid off the wound there. I was just trying to praise Richard Rodgers. Yeah, they're going to be mad at me.
That's how we do, D. That's how we do. They don't want to know. They don't want none of this. That's what I do.
So now the offense is facing a 1st down and 20 after that last mistake.
Hey, watch 28. Go now. 3-19. Over.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. He was looking for Matt Jones that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Unable to connect on the 1st down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. Now Garoppolo throwing on 2nd. And he comes back with 1 complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. And they've got an extra defensive back out there now on 3rd and 13.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
Watch him now, Barney. Set. 3-19.
Garoppolo again here on 2nd and 10. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And the 49ers getting set to trot out there. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Big boys down there in the trenches and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense. And what a big-time play there.
Ten yards still left on second down. They isolate Hopkins on the left side. Throwing, Hundley. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's second and long. Now Hundley. And the grab made by the tight end Pruitt. And down he'll go at the 25. That one good for 10 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's third down. Time to step aside. Back to Foxborough after this. So 3rd and 5, 3rd and medium here. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for San Francisco. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Patriots. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Over the middle, the catch made by Mitchell. They'll get 17 yards there. And that's good for a New England first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
4 yards remaining now on second down. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jude Barima. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And they're going to speed things up here.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Freeman again. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. They'll set up a throw. He's got time. Looking deep downfield. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Devin McCourty picks it off. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And in enemy territory last time through the interception. We'll see what they do on this drive.
Can't wait to see how it alters what they decide to do in play calling. Do they continue to throw the ball? Do they want to lean more on the running game? It'll be an interesting sequence of plays that they've got coming up.
Does it often affect the play? Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And now this is scooped up by and he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave them a comfortable lead.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Patriots gearing up to go now. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Eli Harold in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block him.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. It's caught. Mitchell. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. So an excellent throw and an excellent catch there.
Zone coverage, which means you just have to find the open areas in between defenders. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Completed pass on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd down as the defense looks for the stop. They'll try and run for him with Jones. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots. and powered forward and got the first down.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. They go play action here on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and react into the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
They go back to the ground with Jones. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
They go play action for Lewis. Now Garoppolo. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. Garoppolo now. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Now Hundley. And that is incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. This is taken at the 15. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Patriot offense now set to come back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Kyshawn Jarrett makes the stop.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
Play action. Garoppolo. Over the middle, the catch made by Mitchell. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And quickly, they get to the line. Throwing now is Garoppolo. He's going to air one out.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers. They're the ones that have to determine run or pass and get to the proper places on the field.
Second down now after the incompletion.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Garoppolo again. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Complete. This is Lewis. And taking it across midfield and inside. The 45. First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Flex round. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round.
A handoff running left. Crowell. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice gain.
Back now in Foxborough. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the fourth and final quarter. On second down, here's Crowell. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Isaiah Crowell, his second touchdown on the season. And the 49ers add on to their lead. And it is now 21-0. Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. Now Jones. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they thought they were in striking distance. And to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We just saw another example of really good defensive football, which has led to the cushion that they have in this game. Got to him once again, knocked him on the ground, forced an incompletion.
Yeah, they've set the tone. It's one thing to set the tone, another to come in here on the road and set the tone. Back to the air on second. It's Garoppolo. Over the middle, Rodgers has it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but The defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
An extra DB for the 49ers now on third. Now Garoppolo. And he'll have his man. That's Edelman. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. And they're on third and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now.
Let's go!
Garoppolo to try again on 2nd down. To the left side and complete for Julian Edelman. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Sets up the screen to Lewis. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Throwing now is Garoppolo. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The Patriots come up empty on 4th down. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They isolate Hopkins on the left side. Now Hundley muscles him off. Rolling to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. And that's caught inside the 35. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
12 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a San Francisco first down. In the red zone this time. Now the defense definitely showing blitz here. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Throwing, Hundley. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is, Is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. This one taken from the 7. So the Patriots coming out now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Garoppolo to throw on second down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. DeForest Buckner in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight. And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on 3rd down and 9. Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
And that is how you do it, my friends. This will be spotted out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. Now back to throw.
Corner on the field for New England here on 3rd down.
Yeah, another DB.
Here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And finding Pruitt. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. And a quick throw here, that's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot. I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. One final try now for Garoppolo. He's got time in the pocket. It's caught inside the 25. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the